Zimbabwe is a country whose economy is agro-based, and as we slowly but surely work around the clock to resuscitate this industry, we have to look at all sectors in agriculture and adopt the latest and most effective methods of farming that will enable us to reap the best possible results at the end of the season. In today's edition of your informative program, we will be focusing on aquaculture, or simply put, we will be looking at the commercial production of fish. In Harare, we visited an organization that was started by a couple of young fish farmers, but now they have grown to become suppliers of knowledge and skill in fish farming, and we spoke to Ian Kazingizi, one of the co-founders of this organization, who started by explaining what fish farming is all about and how this exciting farming practice could change the lives of Zimbabweans as we work to revive our economy.
Fish farming kurimwa kwehove ndiyo yatinoti aquaculture it's broad. So kurimwa kwehove zvese ingave catfish, ingave tilapia, any type of fish iri kurimwa ndiyo yatinenge tichitaura tichiti fish farming. Kana taakutarisa fish farming from the end of how we do it, we are commercializing it. We are making someone realize a profit from just doing the project. Zvasiyana nekungoti fish iri mudemu. It's what we're now doing is something which is systematic. If you are to look at us, we are through the whole chain here, aquaculture. What are we saying? We do trainings, we supply fingerlings, we do pond construction, we sell the products like the feed, the medication, and also we buy the fish from the farmers. At the end of the day, we have a very good relationship with our farmers, which will just keep us going day by day, for as much as there will be other new companies cropping out in an industry. And the cropping companies, they actually give us strength and give us more power to devise new models towards how we can continuously grow within the industry. We're looking towards a system whereby we will be attacking the whole of Southern Africa, and then Africa, and then the world at large. But you know, it's something which takes time.
Asked to comment on whether or not it is possible for the country to retain its breadbasket status of the Southern African region, the fish farmer had this to say.
Definitely. If you are to look at the vision of the government at large, and everyone within the agriculture sector, even the minister and all that, it's something which is on the way. That's why you see that in terms of agriculture, we're having a lot of vocational training centers which are being opened, and zeroing back to us as an institution, we are modeling systems whereby we are training the whole of Zimbabwe. So if you are to go back to us, we're training in Blueyo, in Masvingo, in Mutare. We model some days whereby we say we are going to train. The idea is for everyone to do fish farming to an extent that the local market, Zimbabwe, will be sufficient. And then the moment there is sufficiency in the local market, it means that people will then start to look at the international market. Why? Because there will be too much competition, demand and supply. If there is too much supply, prices will go down. And then as the prices goes down, what does that mean? It means that we will have people who now need to have more money. Hence, they will then start exporting, maybe exporting to Zambia, exporting to DRC, or even the Netherlands, or Scotland, or Thailand. But in them exporting, it means we're now getting foreign currency. So even if you have to look at the growth of the economy of the nation, would then start to erupt from such products. And it doesn't necessarily mean only fish farming. Everything being done. Can it be mushroom? Can it be cattle breeding? Can it be goat breeding? Whatever is being done, the idea should go back to us having a lot of farmers on the ground producing up until we export, and then we get foreign currency.
Farming in its common sense entails one having vast tracts of land to produce huge quantities. But is this the case with fish farming?
We have models like my earth ponds. where someone can actually do it on a large scale, digging very big ponds, 20 by 30 meters, that's around 600 square meters. But we also have systems whereby we are now using technology to stock more. Because fish farming, mu system, water body, how many fish are coming in. So that's the reason why we now have pumps creating oxygen. You understand? They then enable an urban dweller to do fish farming at the same time, realizing what? Realizing profits. So having a small piece of land requires the adoption of technology within the system. If you have 500 square meters, you have uneland yakawandis. We will be talking of tons and tons of fish from that land. Land yatotaura kuti maybe we are looking at 80 square meters. Let's now put canvas tanks. Let's now put water reticulation systems, and then let's stock a lot of fish, maybe 6,000 within 5 to 6 or 7 square meters. Fish farming, just like any other agricultural project, if you want to start it, considering or coming from an end, you are not employed, you need to do it step by step on a smaller scale, because just like any businesses just don't crop up large enterprises. There are steps which one takes till he is there or till she is there. So just like fish farming, it's not difficult as long as you have a water system. We have scenarios whereby you can actually dig on your own. We come in with dam liners, and then you put, and then in terms of fingerlings, they are quite affordable. If you have to look at us, the fingerlings to anatoma seeds cheaper. You can easily start your project. And when it comes to fish farming, you have the commercial feeding, you have the organic feeding. So it now takes back to the farmer on the direction which he wants to take. But fish farming is quite simple and quite easy to start on and work on.
That was Ian Kazingizi, whose organization is into the A to Z of fish farming, giving us hints about the industry and how one could possibly enter into this sector of farming if they have the space, water and will to venture into it. We take a short commercial break. When we return, we'll look at some of the basic needs to be implemented for a farmer to be a successful farmer in this business. Welcome back. In today's episode, we are looking at how aquaculture or fish farming could easily be adopted to become one of the arms to help revive the Zimbabwean economy, looking at its export potential to such continents as Europe and Asia. But for our products to make it onto the market in those parts of the world, they have to be of the highest standard, and the fish farming organization we are highlighting today teaches would-be farmers to practice the best possible ways in every step of their businesses. In this part of the program, we speak to specialists who take us through some of the requirements in the fish farming industry.
For fish, you need like my temperatures another fish. They need like feeding times. Need my feeding quantities. Much feed my quantities. I want to say. Then that all that is covered during training. Then you fish as you are taking for business, you need to maximize the profit. Then fish is not one is rare. Then you are at a loss. So you need medication. You need to know good fish. The number one is really shakat. Good so. Then my ponds akamira say. Anafanonga akadai so. Pond aeration. Munoda oxygen. Akaita say. My temperatures. Anafanonga akaita say. All that and you gain it through training.
Which a fish farming project in Bodiri Raga. Papa na the right seed to grow fish. then the right fit and the right knowledge. So we make sure that the farmer and farmer achitanga project paside selection kusvika harvest a fish, then we are the end marketers where we buy fish from farmers, then we resell fish. We have outlets of fish. So market a fish farmers, we make sure that kana akwa fish dzake anowana market. We encourage my farmers and it ngaende kana chitenga fish ma fingerlings. Nga make sure ambosviko kune breeding site yemuna kutengesa fish. Because chinoitika manje chinozoitika muindustry yedu yefish kuti izoparare kandi izowina mabogus chekuti vanozviti middlemen anditi vasinga breed fish vanotsvaga fish from somewhere, probably vanotsvaga marivers, then votengesera farmer. Then a farmer now kana aenda kunorima fish dzadzi hadzichakure because pamwe anotora muriver and world court. So fish iyoyo yasiyana nefish icharimwa ikure. Yamufane issue ema-broilers, and ma-broilers another 6 weeks, but kwatora road runner is 6 months. So those are funny fish. Is a tukurima is amufana nenge ma-broilers. So we need to make sure that fishes that are kura within space of time yakataurwa. So my farmers encourage you to make sure aenda kune munhu ari kubreeda wacho yeye kana ndikamutenga ma-fingerlings ndingatenge une vanhu vari reputable ma-breeding. Encourage my farmers kuti vatore fish farming as a business, and it first ngawa make sure to vanorecorda everything, and like my cost, my mortalities, growth rate, everything che fish ngachinge chakarecord. Then a farmer alright panye issue business inosiyana nemunhu iwe kana uchitanga project yako and it probably it as a hobby or as a business, but ku fish tasone fish inotora about 6 months to reach 350 grams and it. So 6 months you can't wait 6 months esezozo uchita hobby instead of making money from fish farming. So pa fish apana issue futhi ukuthi une land yakura sei une mvura yakawanda sei. Kana mvura yako rishoma we seek Johnny, we look at the capacity of your water kuti ngwasa fill ama ponds rakura sei you are limit number pond rako rakuita diki, or now we chip in then we introduce to you ma tanks. But ma tanks that now ekuti anenge ane ma aerator, right? So vadi mvura yakawanda pada about 6,000 liters temvura, and in mom you can put 2,500 fish mutengi rakadaro. You see, so and apart space yakura panoda just a small space about 4 square meters patanga project ya fish. Pan issue is scale intensive farming. Kana one small land you can do intensive farming, and it you can introduce my biofilters, my pumps, and it then you can stock fish zakawanda mu small ponds. But now tikusengeta mvura yedu tikuleta mvura tikwedzera oxygen tikwedzera zvakawanda wanda mafish. Then kana une land yakakura you don't need those things now, you need my bigger ponds. One a big pond, probably a 30 meters by 20 meter pond, which is 600 square meters. You can put 9,000 fish in that pond. Then probably in 6 months you can harvest something like 2.7 tons. So kana une space yakati kure stereki, I encourage my farmers kuti ngatichite at 6 ponds. Why not? At 6 ponds, and it takuti each month taku space to stock at this month the first pond, the second pond next month chingodaro sikaisa kwana 6. Patosvika 6 months patanga kuharvest a fish, right? Totanga rekutanga reda tivera stock, which means kuti wakwanisa kuharvest 2.7 tons every month for the whole year. But the issue iripo panye fish farming now inyemvura kwatama nemvura kana ari ma big ponds, make sure tine source of water yedu it is sufficient to feed the ponds. But kana ari ma small ponds it's okay even from a well which you can feed your ponds.
As fish farming becomes a profitable venture, the most asked question is that, is there a ready market for the product? And to answer that question was the lady responsible for marketing at the organization that is doing fish farming.
You can actually try fish farming mukwanisa kuchengeta fish thing sezvamunongoita uku. You can get fish feed, tinotengesa fish feed, tinotengesa for fish medication, and someone to know which type of fish yatinoita totanga kutovaudza from scratch kuti we do now tilapia, and inokwanisa kukura for such and such a time. Our niche is that we have the information, like we teach our clients from the very start. We give them training, we give them consultancy, and we give them supervision. so that they won't go wrong. We just don't, if they want pond construction, we just don't construct the pond for them only. We also give them the required information, because if you have to start a business, you need to know how about the business. You can start fish farming as a hobby, while it's to show it as a business on the side. Kuti construct a pond 5 by 5 yako, nokwanisa kutochengeta fish dzako imomo 500. And we actually have my clients and notongoya kuti I am doing this for my son. I want my son to do this as a spare time, as a hobby. So it means you can do it as a business and as a hobby at the same time. We just combine it, and we recommend it for the youth, especially now. Every client who comes like, okay, if I am to start my 30,000 project, we will get a market, we will buy the fish from us. And of course, yes, we are a retailer for fish. Kariba brings to be specialized, and we are making sure that my clients who are getting fish, we get it from them. And on the other side, we always advise my clients, of course we can get the fish from you, but to widen your market, you need also to supply to supermarkets. You need to supply to my restaurants. Kuna one soda fish, you cook with my restaurants and my hotels, all the resorts, they are looking for suppliers of fish, because my suppliers of fish and to mashom. So it's a market here, garage wide, and you can also give to my households.
The Youthful Fish Farming Organization has a professional setup that is meant to assist new and old farmers succeed in this business.
Fish farming, it's not something chiri small, or it's not something chekuti chinoitwa in a short period of time. It takes time. Like for instance, isus kana tichihelpa our clients, we usually tell them kuti if it is per business, kana vadoto shika pa harvesting, it takes them up to 6 months. So you see kuti time yakareba. So during that period, you need to have the knowledge. Yekuziyo kuti unotsikudza sei from start to shika up to that 6 months. And that knowledge aukwanise kuiwana kana kuti ndatara newe in 30 minutes. Or if you walk in at our offices, I can give you the basic knowledge about fish farming. But we usually encourage our customers, our clients, that they come for our trainings that we usually do after every 2 weeks, so that they have at least all the knowledge that they require to do fish farming.
They say knowledge is power, and it is very encouraging to note that young Zimbabweans have realized that they have a very important role to play in nation building through the creation of employment and provision of products and services to our people. We take another short break. When we return, we visit the ponds that are producing fish and get first-hand information from those who man them. Please do not go away. Welcome back. This is the third and final part of this week's program, where we are highlighting the opportunities in fish farming in this country and how the young business people have seen the gap in this market and have started using it to their advantage, thereby creating wealth as well as employment along the way. In this segment, we would like to visit sites with fish ponds and also talk to the men on the ground to try and find out how they have managed so far. And in Good Hope Suburb in Harare, we caught up with Traimo Bunu, who has been doing fish farming since 2017 when they had their first pond. But now they have expanded to about 6 ponds.
Gatanga ne irere. Do batazobva mune iri, do batapinda iri. Batazota emta mafingerets achitase achuya kunoko. So far pamaponda tinawo tine 10 by 10 ne 12 by 12 ne 4 manisar pond. Ma fish pond atinoti ava akavakwa ne fish dzanga dzataichengeta ndo 12 by 12 ne manisar pond aripo
4. Kuchengeta fish tingato kuti ibasa here rekuti muri ingararame tichitodya tichiguta tichidya zvatinoda tichipfeka kutofambawo nemota.
Yeah, kuchengeta fish is a business. Atingati ka business, a business hombe. munhu wese even kana ndakada kuti ndakabata ndakamanija kuti fish dzangu ndakadzisa mudziri 5000 tazitora ndakadzisa muno sinzi ndikada kudzoka mashure takaisa 3000 but pa 3000 namanje ndichiri kukwanisa kuharvesta. Ruzhinji reZimbabwe rikuda kukurudzira kuti harisi basa rekuti unotarisira pasi. Even kautanga kana pauri paine kasimumpu iko kanokwana kukwanisa kukusumudza kuti ndakufana kunida izi as a farm kuti ndikwanise kuraramisa mhuri.
Marvelous Kashawa is also working at the project in Good Hope, and our crew found him at work at their ponds.
Kurima fish panapa takatanga 2017. Fish chinhu chisinganetse kuchengeta. Takangotangawo sekungoedza kuti timboona kuti zvakamira sei, but tiri kunyatso kutoona kuti fish dzedu nemarimiro atiri kuita fish zviri kuenda zvichitipa pundutso mukurarama tichikura mukurima fish. Chandingada kukurudzira mhuri yeZimbabwe ndechekuti kuzviitira nemaoko yako chinhu chakanaka. Tingaswera kuchema kuti muZimbabwe mabasa ari kunetsa kuita sei, asi basa riri mumaoko mako imomo. Wakakwanisa kungowana mari yokuti unokwanisa kuita start yeproject yaunokwanisa kuita. Project iyoyo inotozokubatsira kune ramangwana ako, uchitoona zvinhu zvako zvichibudirira, utozokwanisawo kuemploya vamwe vanhu vasingakwanisi kuzvibatira nemaoko ako, wakutoraramisawo dzimwe mhuri dzakagara mukati menyika ino.
Finally, we went back to our experts for their parting shots on fish farming.
I want to encourage my farmers kuti ngatisiye fish farming. Why? Because fish dzinodiwa nevanhu zvisingaiti, dzine market yefish ichiri yakazara, and fish farming it's haina lab, it's less labor intensive. Zvekuti munhu 1 pafarm akakwanisa kuchengeta maponzi kana 6 maponzi 30 by 20 akataura mahombai anoita 9000 fish. One person akakwanisa kuchengeta because issue iripo nyaya yekufeeda chete. So ngatisasiye fish farming. Even in a small space, even in about 200 square meters, you can do fish farming.
What I just want to say is Zimbabwe, it's agriculture, it's a primary industry based country. The economy basically bases much on it, and agriculture at once a time it was a bread basket. So it's easy for us as Zimbabweans to take it back, but we need to do it with the knowledge. We need to move from a subsistent point of view. That's why Chunais was usually we're looking at Vanapfumvudza. Pfumvudza is going back to subsistence, but yadzoka yagadzirwa zvakanaka. It's now in a position to produce, because there are a lot of calculations which are now being done. So just like Pfumvudza, we need to have projects along all boards, along all parameters of agriculture. Can it be poultry? Can it be piggery? Can it be mushroom production? On a smaller scale, but we are heading towards this direction.
Careful planning and implementation of our projects is all we need as a nation if we are to take our country back to its glory days. And with youths such as Ian and Carlton, we have taken it upon themselves to create wealth and knowledge. We know that we are definitely headed for glory. We have unfortunately come to the end of this exciting edition of your favorite program. Until next week, pleasant viewing.